I picked Colorado with all these other states. The number one thing that we started researching was sunshine. So literally we went through and found the research around sunshine.
That was the first one.
That is the first criteria that we looked up because I've lived in Ohio my entire life. Part of Ohio, Northeast Ohio for part of my life. And Northeast Ohio is known for how gray it is. And even though Ohio isn't in the bottom 10 states, meaning the least amount of sunlight, it certainly wasn't in the top 10 either. Now, you've moved around a little bit.
A little bit. A lot of bit. A lot of bit.
So you've been to Texas?
Texas and like 50 other places in Ohio. But like all over El Paso too. El Paso, Texas.
So Texas and Ohio predominantly is where you've been, right?
Yes. But like all over both of them.
Top 10 states, sunniest states. And this is based on literally days of sun, right, throughout the year, and the average over decades.
Okay, let's get the dog.
Yeah, go get him. Oh, yummy. We wanted to find a state that was in the top 10 sunniest states. So that was criteria 1. So we'll share with you what the top 10 are because we were curious. So the number 1 sunniest state, based on number of days of sunshine, average per year, is Arizona. Number 2 is New Mexico. Number 3 is Nevada. Number 4 is Texas. Number 5 is Colorado. Number 5 is California. Number 6 is Colorado. Number 7 is Oklahoma. Number 8 is Kansas. Number 9 is Utah. And the state that calls themselves the Sunshine State is number 10, Florida. So they barely even made the top 10. Mm-hmm. Then where we kind of went from there is humidity sucks. Like I really, it's kind of miserable. Now, to be fair, I've never lived in a desert, right? You have. El Paso is deserty.
Mm.
I don't know. What was your thoughts on
dry heat versus humidity?
Yes.
Yeah, dry heat was a lot better. I could breathe. It like the hot days weren't so hot. They were tolerable without humidity.
I know it sounds cliche, but like I remember, what was it, when we went with the kids, little stinker, when we took the kids to Colorado this past year, I remember when did we go? We went in the summer times.
August.
And I remember leaving Ohio. It was crazy humid out. We got off the plane in Colorado and you just feel different. Like you don't feel sticky.
Yeah.
So when I look at this list of all of these locations, I'm guessing Florida's the most humid.
Oh, I would say, I know Texas can be on one side of Texas pop-wise.
Yeah, Texas is so big, like you can experience, depending on what part you're in.
Yeah, but I mean, El Paso's dry heat. Then, yeah, I would say maybe, yeah, it looks like it would.
And just to give it, Ohio is actually number 33. So to kind of drill down more, then we looked at this and it was like, okay, where would we consider living? So we highlighted Texas, California, Colorado, Utah, and Florida. And I'm like, no bueno on Florida because the humidity, I'm not interested in it. But then that sent us down the path of Florida is like, I say uber conservative, but it's a retirement state. There are so many people that retire to there.
Or do the snowbird thing.
Yeah, do the snowbird. Especially, there's so much of that in Ohio. Mm. Which sent us down the path of, okay, well, we want to feel safe where we live. And we know that it's not like the state itself determines everything, meaning that you pick a state that is LGBTQ friendly. Try saying that 10 times fast. We want to feel safe. And we know that there's nothing foolproof around that. But one of the things that we looked for is gay rights and things, because a lot of that's moving down from federal, and they're pushing it back and saying, state, you make decisions around it. So that was another factor that we took into consideration. So what did we do? We went and looked up the most gay-friendly cities. So here is the top 10 for those. San Fran, California, Austin, Texas, Seattle, Washington, Sacramento, California, San Diego, California, Los Angeles, California, Minneapolis, Minnesota. That one surprised me. It was kind of a dark horse. I wouldn't have guessed. Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Georgia, Boston, Massachusetts is the top 10. And Denver, Colorado is number 13. Right. But I will say this, Columbus, Ohio did rank number 17 as well.
And I'm not shocked about that.
Yeah, but, I'm not either. So that was the next step that we took was, okay, overall as a state, how have they voted towards certain topics? And again, we know not everything's foolproof on any of this. We're trying to do the best research we can and then go off of feel, right? And a lot of these are California, but then that sent us down the path of, okay, a lot of these are California. We love the West Coast, right? But the cost of living is so astronomical. It's just so crazy expensive. So then we backpedaled a little bit and it's like, okay, well, let's keep digging here. And we continued down the path thing. That was a big deterrent for me where I'm like, then you can't get as much for your money. And I at one point I was a financial advisor for Morgan Stanley. So the financial side of me just like it pained me. And then it made me think, well, maybe we just stay in Columbus because the cost of living's good and I do feel safe holding Jonna's hand walking downtown. Like, maybe it's not that bad here. But then it's like, no, I want something different. I want a new adventure.
Yeah.
So where did we go after that, honey? I mean, I know that we spent like a long time, probably like a whole year, just not constantly doing research, but we'd pick it up continuously and dig in a little more.
Yeah. And then I know like for Colorado, we looked at physical activity and the physical activity lifestyle type thing. But also we found out that the airplane tickets or flight tickets to get to a beach from Colorado.
Oh, that was the other thing that mattered a whole lot. Like we like water and we love the idea of being on the West Coast and being able to get to the beach, but what you would end up having to pay for.
Yeah, to be
and we
on
want
the beach.
Land.
On the beach.
Like we want space.
Yeah.
Like we don't want a postage stamp lot.
Yeah.
We just don't. We want space.
We do like the West Coast beaches.
I prefer the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to I grew up going to East Coast beaches, going down to Myrtle Beach in Florida. Like,
Same.
That's all I knew. And not until I was 18, like 19 actually, I drove cross country with my friend from college. She was transferring from OSU, so it was after my freshman year. She was transferring from OSU to USC. And she had to get her car out there. So I'm like, yeah, I'll drive cross country with you. One of the coolest things I ever did, but it was the first time that I ever flew. It was the first time that I'd ever seen the West Coast. And growing up going to East Coast beaches, there's a reason why people get addicted to the West Coast.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the breeze, like
the weather,
it feels cleaner.
The weather at the beaches were interesting. How it, like you'd wake up and it was a little chilly outside, and then
but not sticky.
Yeah,
you weren't sticky. Like you go to the beaches on the East Coast, especially in the summer, and like everything sticks to you because of the humidity.
Yeah.
But in California, like Like you just brush it off.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like
It was pleasant for sure.
It was different, and the breeze that was kicking. I don't know. It's just different. What we wanted to grow into from a music scene. I mean, you can't get a ton bigger than Red Rock. When you think of music pinnacle, you talk to artists, and that's like a pinnacle for them is being able to play at Red Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I love automotive stuff, and one of the coolest races is the Pikes Peak race. That's right there near the area that we're looking at. Mm-hmm. And all of it just tends to feed it and allow us to grow in those areas that we're interested in. Homesteading is an important thing. A very homestead friendly state. The biggest one, two big drawbacks, and it is cost of living, right? But the thought is if we're going down the homesteading route and trying to be more self-sustainable, that not that we would eliminate all costs, because we're not naive in saying like, hey, we're going to be self-sustaining. That means we have no bills. That's a lie. Anyone who thinks that, no, you have tools, you have supplies, we're not naive around that. But the other big thing is water. So that's different and new for us. So we're going to have to dig into that big time and really understand the water piece. We've started to already. And that's for another episode where we're going to go in and talk about the house design, picking out land, and what's really important about picking out land in Colorado versus here, because we don't have to worry about water here.
Yeah.
Not that we have to get permits to drill wells and stuff, but like just because you own a home and land there, you have to get right of water sign off. You can't just go like here. You can't just go drill one, but there's not a shortage of water here. So if there's anything there, I wouldn't say there's too much, but it's not like there's flooding.
Ebbs and flows, I should say.
It just differences county by county in Colorado. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to narrow it down into like where we want to go and what we're going to be focused on. And that's been a whole process around it. And we'll dig into that more in another episode. But like, we're literally mapping out, like, where does it make sense to look and narrow down based on what we want to do. Ideally, we find a shitty home that already has a well.
I like how you put that, just a shitty home.
I want to get it at a discount, right? I want to get the price as low as possible, because then we can make it what we want.
ChatGPT that word that put something else in there.
Find us the shitty home with the most land that already has a well. So if you know anyone,
what she said,
within an hour and a half radius of Denver, that has a shitty home with lots of land and a well on it.
It's our dream home.
Call us up. We're interested. The shittier the better. We're looking for a bargain.
We're looking for a shitty home, our dream home.
We know we're going to make it what we want. Ultimately, we want to build.
I mean, right? But we don't want, something that needs to be burnt down to the ground either.
It'll fall over on us.
Oh, I could see us sleeping out in the cold for a little while.
Oh, jeez. No, I wouldn't. No, we're not doing all that. But we'll use tents instead and space heaters.
How about an RV? Oh, my goodness.
That's really important for our dream and goal with the property is we want to have exclusive. It's like Airbnb, but our cabins will not be on Airbnb. It will be more of an exclusivity thing, because we don't want just anyone to sign up for it, because this is going to be near our home and we don't want crazy people near our home.
Are you allowed to say all this? I don't even know if you're allowed to say all this.
Who wants crazy people by you? No one wants crazy people.
Oh, man.
So we will end up having our own website where people apply to stay. if availability is there, and part of the reason why we're talking about doing this is if we have artists in town, they may be in the cabin. We may not have a place for someone to stay, right? And the only way to completely control that, and we want to have control over that, is we'll have our own website where people can apply to say, yes, we want to come and stay there. And then if we have the availability and everything checks out, and some of this may have to do with our availability too, right? But we want to do the high touch, white glove treatment for our guests and really provide amazing, not just a stay, but experiences for them. So doing it this way,
do something unique, and
allows us to do the high touch, high experience, the types of experiences that you can't find anywhere else. So in doing so, that means we have to make sure that the person who is staying and going through these experiences, one, truly understands what they're signing up for. This isn't an Airbnb where they check a box and say, yes, I'd like to feed some animals. No, that's not what we're talking about here. We want to talk to the people. We want to make sure that it's a good fit for everyone involved, and provide next level experiences for people. And this is the best way that we know how to do it, because one, we don't want to waste the other person's time and money, and we don't want to waste our time and money either. We want to make sure it's a good fit, and we don't want crazy people. So in wanting to deliver something like this, we just felt that, well, let's back up one. We didn't know for sure if Colorado, we did our research, and then we decided where we were going to take a vacation, right? And our final decision was going to be made while we were there, right?
Yeah.
We wanted to go and visit and see how we felt there, right? We're big feeling type people where it's like, okay, logistically it may check all the boxes on paper per se, but if we go there and we just don't get a good vibe, we're kicking rocks, right? We're out. Like, that matters a whole lot to us. And when we went,
I think it was also what mattered was that it felt like home and not like a 24/7 vacation.
Yeah.
And because I was nervous for that, and then once we went, I could feel the feeling of home, but also that vacation wonderment because of the atmosphere. It's both. Like, you could tie in both, and to have both is, I think, is.
I was incredibly skeptical around that aspect of it when we went, because I've traveled a lot,
and I agree that,
and I've never felt other places that I've traveled, I've never got, I could see how this could be like home, and I didn't get that anywhere else.
Yeah,
this was the first place where I'm like, no, I actually can kind of see that and feel it.
And in some strange sense, I think our childhoods where we grew up with the open fields and stuff, because they do have that, as well as the mountains and everything else that brings wonderment. But I think that's too why it spoke to us, because it kind of gave us a sense of a home, and that all in all feeling type deal. So.
There's that's not true. There is one other place where I could see like potentially being home. I could see Utah working, with a big exception. Where the crossroads kind of ended for me with Utah is, I want to feel safe holding my wife's hand walking downtown. And I'm I don't feel that. I'm not sure I would feel that way there. So we'll leave it there. I've visited Utah many, many times. I have a friend that lives there. And I think Utah is beautiful. I've never had a bad experience in Utah, but I've also never walked around holding my holding my wife's hand walking around Utah to know what that felt like. I've only been there for business and just as an individual for visiting a friend. So that's where it kind of ran into a roadblock for me. So that's why we decided on Colorado. I could see people wanting to go to Colorado as a destination. And for us, if we were to build this like in Ohio, for example, I really do love Ohio, and I think Ohio is a great state. I've raised my kids here, and I think if Columbus wasn't in Ohio, and Columbus being Columbus and what it is, I think I would have moved out of Ohio years ago. Columbus is remarkable. It checks checks so many boxes. The cost of living, there's good job market here, LGBTQ friendly, whatever other letters that I'm missing, I apologize. This is, when I graduated high school, I went off to Ohio State, and that was my next adventure. And after that, I had kids, and that was my next adventure. Well, now that my kids are daughter's getting ready to graduate, Jordan only has 2 years left, this is my next adventure. And we're doing it together, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. And I want to experience something other than Ohio, right? And what we're trying to build and deliver, the product that we're trying to build, the product and service that we want to build, I think Colorado enhances it. Because if someone said, I don't know too many people that are like, yay, let's go to Columbus, Ohio, even though I think it's an amazing city. But if I do hear people say, yeah, I'm going to Colorado, and people are like, oh, wow. Yeah. No one does that for Columbus. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they have to, I remember 10 years ago talking to HR reps where they had to build recruiting campaigns to sell top recruits to move to Ohio when we're really moving into the digital and IT space. Before Columbus was, it's becoming pretty prominent in the IT space. They had to sell top talent on moving to Ohio because they didn't want to move to Ohio, because you had Silicon Valley in California. Like, why would I go to Columbus, Ohio? I want to go to California, right? And when I think about what we're building, the product and service that we want to build and deliver to people, Colorado supports that, and it just makes the sell a little easier, I think. Yeah. And I'm excited for that different networking and the art fact of it there. Yeah, like Columbus is very artsy too.
Yeah, I feel like there are two different types of artsy, like Columbus and Denver and Colorado in general. I feel like it's two different types of artsy. Columbus artsy tries to be like a little more polished. I feel like Colorado and Denver's is like more like raw,
touch grass, gritty,
authentic, gritty. And
remember the guy that we met at the hot spring?
Yeah.
The van where he had like all thousands of people that signed it, like all that, and then wasn't he a musician too?
I can't remember.
But yeah, you would just walk around and there's people like that.
It was just, it's a little more, what's the word for it?
It's earthy.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't, there's just something that is so grounding there.
About all of it. The environment.
You just drive into town and you feel grounded because you're driving in and you're looking at the Rocky Mountains. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you drive around here and it's flat. You have fields or construction because it's housing development's going up, and it's different. It's different. So, I don't know. Comment below. Where do you want to move? Are you perfectly happy where you're at? He wants to know too.
Obviously.
So tell him what you think.